Welcome to New Life Live, the premier place to receive free advice from Christian psychologists and counselors for the mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual challenges you face. Since 1988, we've offered compassionate responses that combine God's truth with proven psychological principles to guide you toward healing. Our phone lines are open. Call us now at 1-800-229-3000.
It's Friday, dear ones. Thanks for joining us on another episode of New Life Live. I'm your host, Brian Perez, and you do not want to carry your problems over into the weekend. Let's talk about them today. Get on the path to a redeemed life. We're going to hear from licensed marriage and family therapist 𝙇𝙞𝙫𝙚 West on today's program. But first, here's the always colorful Dr. Jill Hubbard, clinical psychologist. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, you would agree. Hi, Jill.
And I guess I'm fierce today, too.
That's right.
You're always fierce, Jill.
Yes,
I'm always fierce. Okay, well, hello, guys.
Hello.
Good to be with you again. So on Monday, when Becky was here, we were talking a little bit about grief and grieving and kind of the news cycle of the flood in Texas. Mm-hmm. And just that tragedy. And so you guys are hearing this on Friday, but it's actually only Tuesday for me. So I'm still kind of in that vein of thinking. So I was actually listening to some things on grief and grieving that I thought were interesting. And while we have this, something in the news that is catastrophic, we all have our own grief that we struggle with. And so, one of the things is, first of all, to look at the fact that grief is the emotion that we feel. So in this moment, if you have grief about something, that's the emotion. The grieving is actually the process of learning that we go through in the letting go and coming to a new understanding. And so that's the process that we are often in, because there's so many things that we all have to grieve. But one thing that I thought was very interesting, and we all know this, is that we're wired for connection and attachment. And so if you've lost a loved one or a relationship or, had a situation, you are wired to stay connected and to stay attached. And so that person may be gone, but it is hard for our brain to wrap around it, as you know, because it's not just the physical presence of the person that's gone, right? That is what is gone a lot of times. But our internalized relationship with them continues, because that's what we do when we attach and we connect. And so we internalize people. And so we carry that with us. So that's the good and the bad of it, right? The bad is that we can't physically see them and have ongoing, but we have ongoing through our reflection, through our memories of them. We hold them close. And so there is this natural tug of war and protest that we go through that is part of our learning. So with like the tragedy in Texas, oh my gosh, it is so huge. So if you know people from Texas, I happen to have family and friends from Texas, people who have vacationed in that area. So there's a little stronger identification there, right? I think, too, when we have people going through things, it also brings up losses that we have had. So when you mourn for other people's children, you're also mourning for losses that you have experienced in life. And this is part of the body of Christ coming together and walking together and carrying one another's burdens. So I think that's important to remember, right? We weep with those who weep and mourn with those who mourn.
Yeah. 𝙇𝙠𝙠, any thoughts?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're able to empathize and sympathize with others and have compassion for others because we carry our own pain. We understand that pain, and so we can reach out and care for others as well.
All right, we're going to go to the phones in just a little bit. We've got Anne, Mary, Chris, and others who want to call in and talk to Dr. Jill Hubbard and 𝙇𝙠𝙀 West. We will talk to them in just a moment. Thank you so much for supporting us. Thank you for praying for us, too. You can get all the information about us at newlife.com.
I went to Every Man's Battle in 2012. My sexual integrity was not what it should have been. I sought out affairs, whether physical or emotional. Until I came to Every Man's Battle, I didn't understand that would never fill that void.
Every day, men struggle with sexual integrity. Impure thoughts, strip clubs, affairs, pornography.
The shame and guilt was overwhelming.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Intensive.
You will discover what the true root of your pain is, and you will discover how to overcome.
You don't have to struggle any longer. Get help in Dallas, Texas, July 18th through the 20th. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
Every Man's Battle saved my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
In light of what Jill was just talking about regarding the tragedy in Texas, we have a couple of tip sheets available that we can send to you when you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. One is called 10 Tips When Disaster Strikes, and the other 10 Ways to Help People in Crisis. We can send you one or both when you call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Let's talk now to Anne, who is in Boston, Massachusetts, watching on YouTube and a Club New Life member. Hi, Anne. Thank you for supporting the work of New Life. How can we help you today?
My pleasure. I just have a question. I have a 28-year-old grandson who has a very troubled background, who says he's getting his life together, and he called yesterday. I don't hear from him often. He lives, states away from me. And he called and said that his car died.
Okay.
So I listen to your show every day. And I'm wondering, at 28 years old and everything he's gone through, if I am enabling him.
By sending him money to fix the car?
Yes.
Okay.
I definitely wouldn't sign a loan for him.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, he wants a new car. His car died, he said.
Oh, it completely died.
Oh.
It's beyond repair. Yeah. He just wants money for a new car.
Yeah. So is he asking you for money, Anne? Or did he just kind of plop the idea there in terms of his need? He
plopped the idea there, yes, the need. And I feel terrible, but he has a history, a long history of problems with his father, who was a police officer who abused him. A long history I don't even want to go into. Anyway, his father said he would send him to school for mechanics, and he never paid for the schooling. Set him up in an apartment, never paid for the apartment. And my daughter, they were divorced when my grandson was 7 months old. And my daughter had to take out a $50,000 loan so her son could continue school and stay in the apartment. And 3 months later, he decided, and granted he was young, he was 22 maybe or whatever, he decided that he was going to quit school. So my daughter had a $50,000 loan. I gave him $6,000, and it was all thrown away.
Yeah.
He also says that he has a business venture that should be coming through any time now, video games and computers that he's working on. And he's trying to tell me that he's getting his life together, and nobody believes him, and everybody throws all the old stuff in his face. And
yeah. Wow.
I just don't know. And I'm like halfway across the country from him, so I just don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And first he told me that his what he was paying for rent, and I said, well, what about your roommate? He said, oh yeah, he pays half. Well, he should have told me what he paid, not what the rent was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Jill, what were we going to ask him?
So I don't know.
So, Anne, what about your relationship with your daughter?
Are
you able to?
Good.
Okay. So, are you able to talk with her about this?
Yes, I can. Yep, and I will. there's just been so much in his life that I can see why he is who he is today. Do you know what I mean?
So you feel, go ahead.
No, I just feel so bad. I just feel so bad, and I feel like a terrible grandmother, you know?
Well, I hear that you feel,
help him.
yes, but I hear that you feel really torn because helping, we all want our help to be helpful, right? And so I think that is your question is, would this be helpful? And yes, you feel bad. He's had some difficulties in life, but he's also perhaps exploited some of his difficulties as well and not been fully appreciative of maybe help that he has been given. And so it sounds like it's hard to know, like, would this be helpful to him, or is this just him trying to figure out how to get his next recent need met? And so that sometimes it's hard. And so sometimes, I mean, you've already given him the money for school and then he left school. And I don't know if there's any, plan for him to pay that money back, or it's just a wash. And so I think you have to proceed with caution, and you have to decide in and of yourself. And this does not mean, either choice does not mean that you are a bad grandma. You're trying to be a discerning grandma. And so can you give him a gift and let go of it, knowing that it may go to a car, it may not go to a car? And would you feel comfortable with that? Or, and maybe it's just, a little bit of money, not enough for a car. Or is it better for you to say, that's a great plan. I wish you the best of luck with that. Because he's wanting a new car, but does that mean a used one? Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
And his sense of entitlement. So I think it is a really hard choice.
Yeah. JJ?
Right. And the truth is that sometimes it's actually better for us to wait. There's something, so he's saying that he's expecting these business ventures to pay off very soon. Well, that's great. And we can be really supportive of that plan and hopeful that it does, in fact, produce some great income for him. But that may mean that, for a little while, I have to take the bus. For a little while, I have to take public transit in order to get around or get to work or borrow rides from people because my car is dead. And I expect that there's a payday coming months down the road, but it's not here now. So that means I can't afford that car now that I want to buy. Doesn't mean that I turn to others and say, hey, I want to buy this car, but I can't afford it, so you buy it for me. At 28 years old, there's a point where I have to say, okay, I'm responsible for my bills. I'm responsible to meet my needs. That doesn't mean that nobody can help me. People have helped me in my life. People have given me gifts, and that's wonderful, and I'm very grateful for that. But I agree with Jill that you need to decide, what can I afford to give as a gift that if it never gets paid back, or if it doesn't even get used in the way that I hope that it would, that I'm okay with that, right? So and that can be anywhere from 0 to whatever number you're comfortable with, right? There's, like Jill said, there's not, if you give, you're a good grandma, and if you don't give, you're a bad grandma, or vice versa. If you give, you're a bad grandma, and if you don't give, you're a good grandma. It's discerning, is this healthy? And so he said, okay, he's getting his life back on track. What is he doing to get his life back on track? What are the tangible, not this is what I'm hoping to do down the road, like I'm hoping these business ventures pay off, but what specifically have I already done that is putting my life back on track? The good choices that I'm making and the good results or consequences from those things. And those would be good conversations, not only to have with your grandson, but also, as Jill was talking about, to have with your daughter, to say, what are you seeing? Maybe she's closer. Maybe she lives nearer to him. What are you seeing as evidence that he is, in fact, making better choices with his life?
And it's perfectly okay to say to someone, in the past, I have given you money, and it has felt like it hasn't been helpful. And so I'm not feeling comfortable at this time doing that again. Right? That's a perfectly okay thing to say because you do have some history.
Right.
And so you're wanting to be supportive. But
It's
ahead.
also perfectly acceptable to say no just because that's your answer.
right, just
Doesn't
because
have
it doesn't
to be because
Sure.
doesn't have to be because you were a bad guy and you did bad things with it.
Right.
Doesn't have to be, oh, I can't afford it right now. It can just be, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in buying you a new car, or I'm not interested in paying for that thing, whatever. Like I can just say no. It's okay. You. In other words, you don't owe him this. You can give it as a gift, but you don't owe it to him simply because he's your grandson.
What resource would you guys recommend from the newlife.com store? There's so many good ones there.
I think doing life with your adult children.
Okay.
And grandchildren.
In this case, grandchildren, yes. All right,
Yeah.
we will send that to you, and thank you for calling in today here on New Life Live, and thank you for being a Club New Life member. Your financial contributions make a huge difference in the lives of hurting people, whether it's addiction, shame, grief, marital issues. Those stories of pain you hear people call in with are turning into testimonies of hope because of your generosity. Through counseling, this broadcast, our podcasts, workshops, recovery resources, you're helping people connect with resources that break chains. Every gift matters. You may never know this side of heaven the difference you made, but you can see some of these testimonies of hope at newlife.com. Here is Mary, who listens to us on KKLA in Los Angeles. Hi there, Mary. Thanks for calling in today.
Oh, thank you. Hi.
Hi there. What's going on? How can we help you?
Well, sounds like you got a lot of calls concerning grandmothers. I'm a grandmother.
Or grandmothers have time to call.
Yeah.
There you go. Anyway, so I'm a single grandmother in my 70s, and I've been taking care of my grandson since he was 6 months old. He's now 16, except that there was 3 years that he lived with his parents. And, of course, he relishes those 3 years and remembers them. But anyway...
How old was he when he was with his parents?
He was age 5 to 8.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So I had him for the first 5 years, which was good.
Yeah.
And his dad was there living with me. So anyway, about 2 years ago, his dad... Exactly. 2 years ago, his dad committed suicide. Unfortunately, my grandson, nobody saw it. My son was very careful and neat and clean and just went off and he shot himself, and that was it. He couldn't find any work. He had tried everything. But, of course, there are some other problems. I don't know what it was. But anyway, so... my grandson now, today, at age 16, he goes to a Christian, very nice, he's been going to Christian schools. He hasn't said the word dad or talked about his dad at all, except for twice. I said, oh, where'd you get that T-shirt from? He said, my dad. So he's only said the word dad twice. He's buried everything. He doesn't talk to anyone that I know of. He's shutting down more and more. Everyone likes him because he stands there. He's quiet. He's cute. The girls like him, unfortunately. But anyway, and he smiles and he's cooperative, but he's just, I know him, and he's just kind of being a robot. It's rare that he is himself. Loud, outgoing, having fun. So my question to you is, I can give you some more stats if you want. I want to know how I can raise him. I know it's ambiguous, but...
Has he done any kind of therapy?
We tried for a year through Medical, but it was an elderly man that basically told a lot of stories repeatedly.
Okay.
And could not get my grandson to say anything about his dad or open up and say much. My grandson, his main goal in life is to not say anything to anyone unless he's goofing around with friends.
Yeah.
He won't talk. And it seems to be getting worse.
JJ?
Yeah, well, I've got like 5 questions I want to ask, so we might want to wait until we get back.
You can
on
ask
the break.
one. That way Mary can think about it through the break.
Well, Mary, I would want to know, why did we not try a different counselor if there wasn't a good fit with this particular counselor? But I do agree with you. It's going to be important for your grandson to talk. Some of that's going to be by you modeling that for him. We can talk a little bit more about that when we come back.
We will do that. Mary, stay on the phone through the break, and we'll come back to you. Chris, we're going to talk to you as well here on New Life Live. Thank you all for listening today. Thank you for supporting us financially. Thank you for praying for us and for our listeners. As they call in, I know we have lots of prayer warriors listening. You can write down their name and just pray for them as the Lord lays them on your heart. We'll be back in a little bit here on New Life Live.
We've been married 33 years. We attended the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop. Even though we've read books or attended a few other marriage weekends, this was certainly different and a lot more intensive than initially that we thought.
When you come to Intimacy and Marriage, you're going to be immersed into a 3-day process.
Was not really sure exactly what to expect, but the idea of learning to really understand intimacy was intriguing. We had been in the same patterns of struggle over and over again.
If you've thought, I don't think we can ever change, we're just in this rut and we can't get out, the Intimacy and Marriage Workshop can help you get out of the rut.
The Intimacy and Marriage Weekend is July 25th to the 27th in Washington, D.C. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE and use the discount code NLL to save $50. 1-800-639-5433.
I would highly recommend it.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
And let's go back to Mary in Los Angeles. So, Mary, did you have a chance to think of the question that J.J. West asked right before the break?
Yes, he wondered why I didn't go pursue a second counselor, but I did straight away. It took 3 months of work to get into a Medi-Cal special group, and the person they gave me had disabilities, the counselor, and it was distracting, and the counselor basically wouldn't talk much. He would just ask a question, and then it was on my shoulders to do all the talking. So and my grandson is street savvy, and I had to tell the poor counselor that my grandson would just walk circles around him, like he did with the first counselor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
So
it's
my grandson knows how to ask a question to make the other person keep talking. So my grandson doesn't have to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So, listen, Mary, there's a big challenge here in that 16-year-old boys are not really known for talking.
No.
Even if their life is going perfectly well and they've not experienced any loss, any trauma, any difficulties whatsoever, they're just not known for being verbose.
No,
now
they kind of go mute. They kind of go mute for
they go
for
mute,
a few
exactly.
years.
Yeah,
About 6 years.
So, and now we've got a 16-year-old who is also dealing with tremendous trauma, tremendous loss. Not only, obviously, the suicide of his father, but also all of the circumstances that led to him living with his grandmother to begin with. and not his parents except for those 3 years, right? So he's had a lot to go through. So he's not someone who is likely to lead the way in terms of talking. And so this is going to be where it's going to be really important for you, Mary, to lead the way, to model for him what does it look like to talk, and for you to just on a regular basis talk about your son. Talk about, name him. Talk about, hey, I was thinking about your dad. I was thinking about, whatever, some random things about his life and how he grew up and whatever. But also talking about his suicide, talking about his death, talking about what it's been like for you over the last 2 years to grieve the loss of your son. And as you do that more and more, you're normalizing for your grandson what it looks like to talk about our pain, to talk about those things that we'd rather just leave alone, we'd rather not bring up, we'd rather not have to deal with because they're painful. We don't like feeling pain, and so we avoid it whenever we can. But grief doesn't let us do that. It doesn't let us ignore it. So you're going to model for him what it looks like. And as you do that, more and more it's giving him permission to talk about his own pain. Now, don't expect that it's going to be, I do it twice and then he jumps in. Oh, let me tell you a story about my dad. It's going to take a while before he feels safe and comfortable. But the more you do that, the more opportunity there will be for your grandson to start sharing his own pain.
Yeah, and a mix of good, fun stories,
Right.
and times when your grandson was younger, and then also the tragic part to kind of highlight it all at different times. And Mary, I think you're going to have the long game in mind with this. Also, I would suggest that if he isn't already involved in a church youth group, perhaps a boys' life group, places with his peers where maybe there, is a younger guy that is, helping these guys to kind of connect and talk about their lives a little bit more. So getting him involved in things that are therapeutic, but not necessarily therapy, right? Where he has access to other good guys that can pour into his life.
What do you think, Mary?
Well, I'm taking notes. This is all just fabulous. He has attended Christian private schools that have been excellent, and with excellent teachers. But this idea that you just said about he's gone to a great youth group, but I think you're talking more about a little group of boys.
Boys' life group. Or even drawing in, since you're a single grandma, which is like being a single mom. I was a single mom with a boy, and I would tag team with his best friend's parents, where there was a mom and a dad. And I would share with them things going on with my son, and they poured into his life. And they, to this day, are like his second parents. Or, a life group leader that pulled him in and would know what was going on.
Or if there are particular teachers at his school or the youth group leader that he respects, that he has a good relationship with, those also can be good male role models or resources for him to begin to open up and share what's going on with him.
Mary, thank you for calling in today to New Life Live. What resource should we send to her from the newlife.com store?
Can we give her the Life Recovery Workbook for Grief?
Yes, absolutely. We'll put that in the mail to you, Mary, so stay on the phone. And we've got this resource and several others available for purchase at newlife.com. We've also got a video library there with lots of free materials that you can watch or download or share with your friends, because sometimes you hear about someone that's going through something, whether it's your neighbor or someone at church, someone at work, and you can just tell them about the resources that we have at newlife.com, and definitely encourage them to call in too, because we're here to talk to people who are going through life's deepest struggles, and we want to help. And if they want to call in on days that we can't record, they can send their questions in via email or leave a voicemail, and all the details about that are at newlife.com/radio. Chris and JJ, we're going to talk to you when we come back.
I became aware that my husband had had an affair. He was viewing porn on the computer. I was totally unaware of anything like sex addiction. Through the workshop, I truly believe my soul has been restored. The workshop educated me about what sex addiction was. It also gave me courage. I learned how to stand up for myself. Without a doubt, it was the most significant thing that I did.
The Restore Intensive is coming to Washington, D.C. November 7th to the 9th. Register online at newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Enter the code NLL for a discount.
That workshop is where I found the tools and the people to heal from this most heartbreaking thing of my life.
1-800-NEW-LIFE and the discount code NLL. Club New Life changes lives.
You guys came along into my life in 2022. That was a really, really difficult year of my life.
You can help New Life Ministries provide Christ-centered hope and counseling resources to thousands of people by joining Club New Life today.
I began to really process a lot of things that I've needed to for a long time, and y'all were a very big part of that.
When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, you'll make a difference in the lives of individuals and families with godly counsel and connection to help.
I came out of it having never experienced anything like that, and y'all were there.
Join today and help continue the message of hope to a troubled world.
I knew I had to keep going, and I joined Club New Life, and y'all have been the resource that has now been a light for my wife and I.
Go to newlife.com/CNL, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places.
Keep doing what you do because it makes a difference.
newlife.com/CNL. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
JJ West is here with us today on New Life Live, along with Dr. Jill Hubbard. JJ is the presenter at every one of our Every Man's Battle weekend intensives, one of which is coming up in just a few days. JJ, how can a woman listening or watching right now convince her husband, fiance, or boyfriend that he really needs to attend the next EMB?
Yeah, that's, it's a tall order, obviously, to convince somebody else to do something. But I do think you can encourage, you can certainly make it important to them, especially if you have seen the evidence in your marriage, if you're married or if you're engaged, if you've seen the evidence in your relationship that this problem is impacting your relationship. You can talk about that. You can say, look, I want us to have a healthier relationship. I want to have a healthier marriage, or once we're engaged, when we get married, I want us to have a healthier relationship. And this is getting in the way of that. And I know that you're a good man. I know that you have a good heart. And I want you to take this seriously. I want you to do whatever you can to be free, to experience freedom, so that we can have the marriage that God desires for us to have. And so to go to the Every Man's Battle Intensive is he is going there to set himself up for success, but also to set up the marriage for success. And it's not just about behavior change. It's about learning to do intimacy in really healthy ways. And so many of us who are caught in the pain of addiction, we did not know how to do intimacy. And so we settled for a substitute. Pornography or strip clubs, affair partners, whatever your sexual acting out behavior was a substitute for the intimacy that you crave in your heart, that you desire, that was hardwired into you. And so it's learning how to do relationships in healthy ways. It's not punishment because you were a bad boy and you looked at porn. Now you got to go to this thing. It's learning how to do relationships in a healthy way and setting you free from these chains that have really bound you for a long time.
Yeah. The next Every Man's Battle weekend intensive begins 1 week from today in Dallas. And there's still time for you to sign up. Go to newlife.com or call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Here is Chris, who is in Detroit, Michigan, watching us on NRB TV, which is DirecTV channel 378. Hi there, Chris. Welcome to New Life Live.
Hi. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. How can we help you? What's going on?
So I'll ask the question first, and then maybe you'll want to know the background. So my husband had an encounter with a lady on Classmates he went to high school with, and struck up trying to help her with business. He does businesses on the side. He also has a full-time job. And they ended up meeting out of town, which we have an agreement we would never do that. They met just at a restaurant. And he lied about that. Come to find out, I found out through a phone, for 5 months they'd been talking. So I finally prayed and prayed he would tell me. He never did. But for a week I saw him and kept taking his phone in the bathroom, texting, hiding his phone. He always keeps his phone locked. I've never had access to his phone, but I got in one of the business phone. Long story short, my question is, he stopped avoiding. He, on his own, I think, started feeling guilty. It was emotional. There was a sexual thing sent back and forth. There were pictures of legs and chests and stuff like that. And long story short, there was still this business thing going on he was trying to help her with through her medical world. And so I don't know if that was the guise, if that was the disguise, if that was how he got her to start talking, or her vice versa. Anyway, then I found out multiple phone calls for weeks and months, several times a day. Obviously, I'm broken and kept praying, and finally we talked over the weekend, and he admitted he did cry a little bit. It still is hardly admitting it's anything more than friendship. He did at the time. He's having a hard time saying it's anything more than friendship now. He has not messaged her or texted, and we made an agreement that he would not respond to her at all. And she said she couldn't help him with the medical part. It didn't go through with her upper echelon business. And she kept texting him, and he was showing me the text, and I saw the emails. She's saying she's missing him. She's missing his support, He still didn't contact her, so she contacted him this morning. Suddenly, in a change, and she said, I wanted to talk to you about what we could do for my surgery center. Would like to hire you to be their analysis now. We have I have a lot of lost, spent money. I have to answer for it. Sorry to bother you at night. She messaged this last night. He got this morning. But they are hitting me hard on this. Contact me when you can.
Yeah.
So I feel like she's trying to play on his emotions now.
Yeah.
He's not contacting her back. How do we stop her? He took her number out, but obviously she still has his number. How do we stop this? Does he write her a letter? Do I call her? What do we do to stop her? And obviously she's trying to pull on his heartstrings, saying she's responsible for all this money. What do we do?
Wow. Dr. Jill.
Wow, Chris. Well, you certainly have enough evidence here, and good that your husband finally admitted it. Your first clue was, though, that he lied about it, right? So whenever, generally, whenever a married person has a relationship with someone of the opposite sex, their spouse needs to be included in that. It shouldn't be private. It shouldn't be secret. And certainly it crossed the line. So I think that you don't want to create anything that creates another vehicle for contact, right?
Right.
So I think it needs to be something that you see, and maybe it is just a short text saying, I'm so sorry, I won't be able to help you. Our relationship has crossed the line, and I have violated my wife's trust, and I have now shared with her, and I am needing to back out of this friendship.
Okay.
I mean, those
were almost my exact words I had written down. Did you believe it or not?
Right. And if he's like, oh, well, I don't want to hurt her. No. This is like a cancer that needs to be cut out. And so you just matter-of-factly and firmly, spell it out for her, so that there's no wiggle room. And that, if you have to, that my wife will now be privy to all of our conversations.
Okay.
Right. But he doesn't need to go meet with her to tell her, or write her some long letter, or no.
JJ?
Short, and to the point.
Yeah. I mean, Jill hit the nail right on the head. That's exactly what I would have said. So yes, Chris, do that with your husband. I'm glad that he is keeping you in the loop with all of her attempts to contact him. That's a good sign. It's a sign. It's not the only, right? There needs to be more. There needs to continue. I am glad that he's doing that. But absolutely, yes. Just do a very simple statement. This relationship is over, and my wife is fully aware of all of our communication, and I'm no longer going to be able to help you nor be available to you.
Yeah, he can't do business with her. He's already. This is not just friends, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
So Chris, there's a book that we do not carry. It's called The Dance of Restoration. I forget who it's by, but you might want to check that out. And I think then the next step is you and your husband need to get in some couples counseling and look at, why was he vulnerable for this? What, was happening in your relationship or with him?
Yes.
So that's a next step.
I will tell you, he started working out of town Monday through Thursday and got an apartment.
Yep.
And listen, we talk daily, we pray daily, we go to church, we're in Bible study through Zoom on Wednesday so we can do it together. We pray morning and evening. So this was all very much a shock to me.
Sure.
We have very good relationship as far as I knew. And honestly, we renewed our vows over the weekend for our anniversary with our pastor.
Good.
And he says he doesn't be married to anybody. I mean, he said he didn't have any interest in her.
Well,
do this business, and I said, "Well, this is not joking. This was cheating."
Yeah.
No, I mean, I don't need to send pictures or receive pictures of legs and chests in order to do business with someone, and I certainly don't need to lie about it to my spouse in order to do business with someone. So okay, let's be honest. There was something more than just a business opportunity here, but in God's grace, it was found out before anything more serious happened. Yeah. And so now we can look at, why did I want to engage in that kind of communication?
Chris, we're going to send you a copy of Intimate Deception by our friend Dr. Sherry Denham-Keffer. Stay on the phone, and you guys really need to sign up for the Intimacy in Marriage Intensive. If you sign up today, you'll get an early bird discount. Today's the last day to sign up for that discount. The Intimacy in Marriage Intensive begins 2 weeks from today in Washington, D.C. You can get all the details about it at newlife.com or by calling 1-800-NEW-LIFE. But Chris, we can sign you up right now if you stay on hold. JJ, we're going to talk to you next on New Life Live.
Do you need help for life's hard situations?
My husband recently said he wanted a divorce.
I'm confused on what I should do.
I have an eating disorder.
New Life Live answers your questions on relationships, grief, addiction, trauma, anxiety, and much more, all from a biblical perspective with our panel of professional counselors and psychologists.
I learn a lot from your program.
You help so many people.
I appreciate your ministry.
Whether you listen or watch, there are so many ways to connect with us to ask our panel of counselors a question. Call us Monday through Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific at 1-800-229-3000 to ask your question on New Life Live. Or go to newlife.com/radio for other ways to get your question answered.
I'm trying to find help.
I just want to know how to set boundaries.
If it's a sin, what am I supposed to do?
Need a therapist or a coach, a resource, or an intensive? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. For over 35 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
Your ministry has saved my life.
If you struggle with emotional hurt, family or marriage problems, the pit of depression, or the pain of addiction, we can help.
I'm down 100 pounds now from what I was.
I found a counselor through New Life Ministries, and it's just been outstanding.
Our treatment programs provide clinically appropriate solutions from licensed professionals, all in a biblical framework.
I have had problems with alcohol. I think God has ordained this place to be His.
You don't have to be a prisoner of your pain. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
She tells me that I'm a new man, and I feel like a new man.
It worked for me, and it can work for them too.
This time it is different.
If you're ready to take the first steps toward genuine spiritual and emotional healing, call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. God can open the door for a better tomorrow.
To get someone that's competent, that's good at what they do, it's been like day and night compared to what I've had before.
Call 1-800-639-5433. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
All right. Brian Perez here with Dr. Jill Hubbard and JJ West, and this is going to get really confusing here because we have another JJ on the phone, this one from Phoenix, Arizona, but this is a woman JJ, so it won't be as confusing as I thought. Hey, JJ, welcome to the program.
Thank you for taking my call. I really appreciate it. My question is, I had a 29-and-a-half-year marriage, 33-and-a-half-year relationship with a Christian man who claimed he was a Christian, and he started doing pornography when I was on out of town on trainings, and our marriage ended. And unfortunately, it was a California marriage, and I got forced out of the state due to finances. But what happened was the attorney that my ex-husband has been very abusive, and I've ended up with multiple attorneys, and my fees have gone up to about $155,000, and I am crushed financially. And I've had nothing but bad luck since I've got to Arizona. I fell at a restaurant, got injured. I finally was able to purchase a home, and he stopped me. He tried to stop me several times from purchasing homes by quitting paying the spousal support. And I haven't been able to get an attorney to get me the spousal support, and he just sued me for attorney fees, and he won in court. And I mean, I'm so crushed from the divorce. But I bought a house. That month he said he would sign the quitclaim deed, and he didn't. And he ended up, it cost me $7,000 that month to get him to sign that paper so I could purchase my own home. The day I moved into my new home, the gentleman that hooked up the refrigerator flooded my whole house 5.5 inches. And
wow.
I've had to deal with the contractor stuff, which is not going really well. But I don't know how to handle it because I don't have any help. I'm here alone. My daughter talked me into coming to Arizona. She lives 20 minutes from me, and her husband's pretty much of a narcissist like my ex-husband. We modeled that behavior really beautifully, so she picked a narcissist, and he's isolated her, and so we don't get to talk. I have 3 grandchildren that I don't get to see, and I'm living 20 minutes from them. And to make the long story short, on the 5th of June, a gentleman came to my door, a large colored man came to my door, 6'5", and asked to use my restroom. And I saw that he had a phone in his hand. He goes, "I'm a neighbor. I really need to use your restroom. I need to use your bathroom. I can't hold it." And I said, "Sir," I said, "do you have a car?" He goes, "Yeah, I live right across the street. There's my car." And I said, "You need to use your car to go to the restroom at a gas station." I'm sorry. And I closed the door. Thank God he didn't push the door in.
Okay.
And this is in the new house that I'm in. And then he hopped the fence 10 days later and was in my backyard. He tried to break into my home.
Oh, my goodness.
And I can't even begin to tell you how many things have happened.
Right. Oh, my goodness. Where do we begin?
Wow, JJ. I mean, you know, God hates divorce and all that is around it. And there are so many ripple effects that people don't realize. And having to strike out on your own after, 30 years of being married, that even if your husband was not a good guy, which he's proving not to be, there were still things that he did for you. And now having to face all this by yourself is very difficult. It made sense that you moved towards your daughter, but now it's so unfortunate that you're not feeling her support. Who has been your support system? What friends do you have? What church body do you have? You need people around you to walk through these trials with you.
That's the other problem. I joined 2 prayer groups when I got here, and they knew my house flooded. Nobody even called me. Nobody offered to help me move. actually the church has been more disappointing than even people on the street. And I have no support system whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Well, okay, but what are your friends from California? I mean, obviously they can be, through the phone, because you have moved to a new area and it is starting over, so you don't have any history with these new people.
Right, exactly. My friend from California, she thought that I wanted to move in with her because I was going to be homeless, because he left me with $90,000 with the debt, and he had an affair with a girl at work, and he's living with her now. And the bottom line is they cut me off too.
Your friends did.
Wow.
Christian.
Wow.
JJ.
So,
oh gosh. Yeah.
I mean, it's like I know I'm a strong person, but this is insane.
This is
I
too
feel
much.
Like the devil is literally in my own backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
JJ, what would you say?
I mean, this is it's such tremendous suffering, and I'm so sorry that you're facing all of this, and especially the way that you're facing it, where you feel like all of your support system has let you down, and rightly so, because so much of your support system has let you down. And I hate that for you, because it's not what God intended. It's not God's design. God's design is that you would feel his love, his care for you through the hands and feet and hearts of those who are called by his name and who are part of your support system. And so, I mean, I wish that there was, I wish it was a different story. I wish there was something we could just rush in and go, here, JJ, we can do this and we can do this and we can show up in these ways. Obviously, we can't do that on the radio, but what we can say, what we can do is remind you of God's goodness, even in the midst of suffering, that God remains the same, that God remains faithful. And I don't know how, I don't know what ways he's going to bring about redemption to your story. I just know this, that he does, that's what he does. He redeems broken stories. And what we see in evidence in Scripture is that he who did not withhold his one and only son, but freely gave him up for us all, how much more will he give us all good things? So we have that promise, but there are times where, as Jill talked about earlier, there's times where, man, that rescue, that miracle, it takes a long time. It's like 20 years unfolding. And so am I willing to wait for that? Go ahead, Jill.
And sometimes, JJ, as unfair as all these circumstances are and all that's been done to you, the betrayal and all of this, we have to look at our own response, even if we are not the problem, but how we respond to things. If sometimes we are in so much pain that it's like a little child flailing around, flailing our arms, like, and so upset that we have to be careful that our anger and our resentment and our sheer pain don't overwhelm those around us, and that we don't, when it's so unfair, sometimes we can become almost demanding in our cries for help. And so I want the fact that so many people are moving away from you, I want you to look at how you're presenting your need. And I know that's super unfair to have to say to you in the midst of all that you're going through, and it would be nice if people were just immediately compassionate, but sometimes we might be doing something that pushes people away without realizing it.
Let's send. Oh, go ahead, JJ. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just saying one final thing real quick is, moving forward, JJ, make sure that all of your financial decisions are completely independent of your ex-husband, not counting on him for anything. If something comes through, that's bonus, but don't count on anything.
Yeah. We're going to send you a copy of Intimate Deception, and we hope you can make it out to the Restore Healing After Betrayal Intensive coming up in November. Everyone listening and watching, please keep JJ in your prayers. He's going through a lot. We'll talk to you next week on New Life Live.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or online at newlife.com. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.